Welcome to Tech for Good Made Easy. I'm your host, Randy Paynter, and today I'm going to show you how to become a spreadsheet genius using newly released AI tools. Whether you hate them or you love them, spreadsheets are incredibly important for nearly all of us in our jobs. And while a single beautiful chart can make your entire presentation a success, let's face it, it can take many hours of work to clean up, analyze, and create that simple picture. The good news is there are several really helpful new ways to use AI to improve your spreadsheet game. To simplify things, I'm going to split this into two episodes. In the first part, I'll provide a brief 30,000-foot view of how AI can help with spreadsheets, and then provide a demo of how I recommend using ChatGPT to become a spreadsheet genius. In the second part, I'll show you how to use a cool new tool that will enable you to clean up, analyze, and use data in ways that have never before been possible with a spreadsheet. This tool allows anyone to work with data in ways that only a data scientist could do previously. So let's start with the 30,000-foot view. What are the ways that AI can help with spreadsheets? First, coaching. AI can help us to get the most out of our existing data and spreadsheet software. If you're already a spreadsheet guru, this may not be of great interest to you, but for most of us, even those of us who use spreadsheets every day, it can really help you level up your skills. Second, assisting with tasks. If you upload your spreadsheet into ChatGPT, it can help run calculations and provide insights on request. I'm not going to go through this today, as you can just try this yourself, assuming you're paying for ChatGPT 4 and therefore can upload a spreadsheet. I'll warn you that ChatGPT is still struggling a lot with uploaded spreadsheets, as messy data and unexpected formatting can really confuse it. There's also a new tool called Copilot from Microsoft that can help with Excel, but so far the functionality is fairly limited, so I'm not going to be discussing that today. Third, augmenting functionality. In other words, doing more with a spreadsheet than was possible previously. This is what I'll devote the entire next episode to, as there's a very cool new tool that's worth digging into. The quick version is that there's a plugin that will basically apply ChatGPT smarts to any cell in your data set. So let's say your spreadsheet contains survey responses in English. This plugin will allow you to use natural language processing to extract, modify, or use that data in ways that you could never do with a standard mathematical formula. And fourth, full replacement. AI is getting to the point where it can fully replace the need for a spreadsheet. We're not fully there yet, but I'll walk you through an example of what's possible next. Okay, so let's start with number 4, using ChatGPT to replace spreadsheets entirely. My dream is that I could give ChatGPT a bunch of data, tell it what I want to use the data for, and have it produce a beautiful presentation for me. It's not able to do that yet, but if you walk it through step by step, it's already really helpful. Here's an example. This is a chart from Statista.com showing the US national debt from 2018 projected through 2028. The chart is an image, so traditionally you'd have to either enter the data manually or use some sort of optical character recognition program to extract the data. The good news is ChatGPT can do this for us. So I'm using ChatGPT 4, and I simply upload the image and ask it to create a data table from the chart. Great, so that was fast. I'll warn you that you should always do spot checks to make sure it got the data right. Some PDFs or images can confuse ChatGPT, but in this case, it looks like the data is correct. Now, let's do something you can't usually do directly in Excel or Google Sheets. Let's add a column showing the US population. So I'm going to type, add a column showing the US population each year. Search the web for the data if you do not have it. Make projections for years the data is not available. Usually that's a manual process, but ChatGPT has searched the web and added this column for us. Now, let's ask it to calculate the growth rate in debt per person. So I'm going to say, add a column showing the growth rate in debt per person. And finally, let's ask it to turn that into a compelling chart. Turn this into what you think is the most compelling chart, highlighting key data from this table. Great, so that's actually probably exactly what I would have asked it for. So it's showing in columns the total amount of debt per year per person. And then in a line chart, it's showing the growth rate in that debt per person each year. So it's probably not quite ready to replace the full functionality of a spreadsheet, but it's pretty amazing what you can do if you take it step by step using ChatGPT. You could do a lot of the things that you would otherwise use a spreadsheet for. Okay, now let's switch gears to talk about how AI can be a coach to help us get the most out of existing spreadsheet software. The first spreadsheet software was called VisiCalc and was released in 1979. So there have been a lot of powerful features added over the past 44 years. And I'm pretty confident most of us use only the most basic features. For example, most of us have probably learned about and maybe even used pivot tables and macros, but may have entirely forgotten what they're good for or how to use them. The good news is ChatGPT can not only answer questions and give you advice when you get stuck, it will also do the heavy lifting for you. Here's an example. I've got a spreadsheet that contains sample data for a variety of fundraising events. There are 4 tabs of data. We have the events in tab 1, participants in tab 2, donation amounts in tab 3, and expenses in tab 4. This is all just fictitious data, so in your case, there would be actual names of people and expenses. Let's say we want to create a summary for each event that tells us how many participants went to each, how much they donated, and how much the expenses were. I use spreadsheets almost every day, and I, for one, would have no idea how to write a macro to do that. But I do have my best friend, ChatGPT, to help me out. So I'll upload this spreadsheet, then ask it, create a macro for Excel to summarize fundraising events. I use a Mac. The workbook has sheets named Events Details, Participants, Donations, and Expenses. The macro should create a new sheet with summaries for each event, including event details, total number of participants, total donations, and total expenses. Awesome, so it created our macro for us. Don't worry if this all looks completely foreign to you. You don't need to understand any code to use this. You're simply going to copy the script it created, then go to Tools, Macro, Visual Basic Editor, then Insert Module, where you'll paste the macro. Don't worry if you didn't follow that. If you're lost, just ask ChatGPT for help. It will walk you through step by step with a big smile on its face. So after you've pasted in the code, you're going to hit this play button, and like magic, it's created a new tab with the summary information. And there we go. The amount of time this little script could have saved someone is incredible. And if your data project doesn't look exactly like what I just showed you, don't worry. Macros can automate all sorts of things from data cleaning to report creation. Just tell ChatGPT what you want to do and ask it to create a macro for you. If you run into roadblocks, tell ChatGPT what happened and it will find a workaround. This truly gives us all spreadsheet superpowers. So that's it for today. We walked through how to use ChatGPT as a way to replace spreadsheets entirely, and then experienced how easy it is to use ChatGPT to create macros, which will save you a lot of time and impress all of your colleagues with your spreadsheet wizardry. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and let your colleagues know. If you have comments, questions, or ideas for future episodes, you can DM me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paynter, that's Paynter with a Y, and or please post your comments below. Thank you, and have an amazing day.